Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Antika and I'm a student of the English Education Study Program at STK Al Maksum. This video is made to fulfill the assignment of the final semester exam for the discourse analysis course. In this video, I will discuss 4 topics, namely speech act, politeness, turn taking, and code switching. Okay, let us move on to the first discussion, which is speech act. Based on the book Pragmatics by Levinson 2008 in chapter 5, page 226 to 228, speech acts are explained as action performed through utterance. This means that when someone speaks, they are not only conveying information, but also performing a social action. In speech act, there are several important elements or aspects. First, locutionary act. According to Levinson 2008, referring to Austin theory, a locutionary act is the act of producing an utterance in its literal sense, focusing on the linguistic form and its lexical meaning. This is discussed in the early part of chapter 5, page 228 to 230. For example, the weather is hot today. The locutionary act here is a statement about the weather condition. Second, illocutionary force. Levinson 2008 explained that illocutionary force refers to the speaker intention or pragmatic function behind an utterance, what the speaker intends to do through speaking, such as requesting, commanding, or offering. This discussion can be found on page 230 to 235. For example, can you please close the door? Grammatically, it is a question, but the illocutionary force is a request. Next, perlocutionary act. According to Levinson 2008, a perlocutionary act refers to the effect or impact that an utterance has on the listener after it is spoken. This is discussed on page 235 to 238. For example, if someone say, "Be careful, the floor is slippery," then the listener walks more slowly. This effect is called the perlocutionary effect. Then, direct and indirect speech act. Levinson 2008 also discussed the distinction between direct and indirect speech act, particularly in relation to context and pragmatics inference on page 260 to 265. A direct speech act occurs when the sentence form matches its function. For example, close the door. An indirect speech act occurs when the sentence form does not directly express the intended meaning. For example, the door is still open. Although this sentence is declarative in form, it intended meaning it to ask someone to close the door. Finally, felicity condition. Levinson 2008 also relates speech act to felicity condition, which are the conditions that must be fulfilled for a speech act to be considered valid or successful. This is discussed in the context of utterance success on page 240 to 243. These conditions include who is speaking, in what situation, and with what authority. For example, I hereby declare you officially married. This utterance is only successful if it is spoken by a marriage registrar, a pastor, or another authorized official. Second, I will explain the concept of politeness based on the book Politeness, Some Universal in Language Use by Broad and Levinson, 1987. Politeness refers to linguistic strategy used by speakers to maintain face or self-image, both their own and that of the hearer. Broad and Levinson explain this concept in chapter 1, page 61 to 62. In communication, everyone has a face, therefore speakers need to use language in a way that does not damage social relationship. Brown and Levinson also divide phase into two types, namely positive phase and negative phase, which are discussed on page 61 to 65. Positive phase relates to a person's desire to be appreciated and accepted, while negative phase relates to a person's desire to act freely without imposition. In conversation, there are speech acts known as face-threatening acts, which are utterances that potentially threaten the hearer face, such as comment or criticism. This concept is discussed on page 65 to 68. Therefore, speakers use politeness strategy to reduce such threats. Brown and Levinson describe four main politeness strategy in chapter 2, page 69 to 78. The first strategy is based on record, which involves speaking directly without any mitigation. For example, close the door now. The second strategy is positive politeness, which aims to maintain closeness and social relationship. For example, we're both tired, right? Let's work on this together. The third strategy is negative politeness, which shows respect and minimize imposition. For example, sorry to bother you. May I ask for your help for a moment? The last strategy is off record, which conveys meaning indirectly, such as, wow, it's really hot in this room. This utterance actually implies a request to open the window or turn on the air conditioner. Next, I will discuss about turn taking. Based on the Handbook of Conversation Analysis by Sidnell and Stever, 2012, turn taking is a system that regulates how people take turns speaking in a conversation, so that not everyone speaks at the same time and the conversation remains orderly. This concept is discussed in the early part of the book, approximately on page 3 to 15. In the turn-taking system, there is an important concept called the transition relevance place, or TRP. A TRP is a point in an utterance at which a speaker is considered to have completed their turn, allowing another speaker to take the floor. TRP are usually indicated by complete sentence, following intonation, or a brief pause. For example, when someone asks, "Are you coming tomorrow?" and another person immediately replies, "Yes, I am." The term change occurs naturally because the listener recognizes the TRP. Sidnell and Stever, 2012, also explained that terms can be transferred in several ways, such as when a speaker selects another person to speak, or when a listener self-selects and takes the turn. In addition, overlap may occur in turn-taking, which happens when two speakers talk at nearly the same time. However, overlap is not always considered an interruption because it often occurs around a TRP and actually indicates coordination between speakers. Finally, I will explain the concept of code switching based on the book An Introduction to Sociolinguistics by Janet Holmes and Nick Wilson, 2017. Code switching refers to the use of two or more language or language varieties within the same conversation or interaction. According to Holmes and Wilson, 2017, bilingual speakers often engage in code switching either consciously or unconsciously, depending on the social situation and the interlocutor. This topic is discussed in the early chapter on bilingualism and multilingualism, approximately on page 33 to 38. The book explained that code switching is not a sign of linguistic deficiency, but rather a communicative strategy with specific social function. Holmes and Wilson, 2017, described several reasons why code switching occurs, including change in the topic of conversation, change in the interlocutor, expressing social identity, and emphasizing particular meaning or emotion. Still discussed on approximately page 35 to 37, example case in everyday conversation. A. Nanti kita meeting jam berapa? B. Jam 2 siang. Berarti we should prepare the slide first. Speaker B switch from Indonesia to English in order to adjust to a more formal context and use work-related terms that are more commonly expressed in English. Holmes and Wilson also explained that code switching is frequently used to signal social closeness or solidarity. Discussed on approximately page 37 to 38, social example, a student say to a friend, "Aku capek banget hari ini. Honestly, tugasnya banyak." The switch to English is used to express emotion and create a relaxed and friendly impression. That concludes my presentation. Thank you for listening and I apologize for any mistake. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.